Alright, what is going on, guys? It is your boy TKD123 here, back again here on PlayStation Source. And next week, if you didn't know, you will have a new PS5 game to play for free on your PS5 if you've been lucky to get one. It is called, of course, Destruction All-Stars. This game that I'm gonna just keep it 100% with you guys. I have been very vocal on Twitter about it being, not looking the best, you know what I'm saying? And I did put up this tweet back when it was initially going to be a $70 launch game for the console, but now, of course, as you all know, it did get delayed, and it will now be a PS Plus game starting February 2nd of this upcoming week. So let's go over all of the details that I was able to garner from this state of play. We did a reactions video to this whole state of play and live streamed and reacted to the overall information, which you can check out here on the channel. I'll leave a card here up on the screen. But without further ado, let's go over everything that I learned about the game via this state of play. Starting off here, let's go over some overview facts about the game. Of course, Destruction All-Stars will be debuting on PlayStation Plus starting February 2nd and April 5th as a free download for those that do have a PS5. And I'm pretty sure that there's a way that you can redeem this game even if you don't have a PS5 quite yet. I think you can do it via the application on your phone, but I digress. I'm not 100% sure on that. But if you do have a PS5, you can, of course, redeem it on PS Plus. And just a quick little tip, even if you don't plan on playing this game, might as well add it to your library. You never know when the game's gonna get a really cool update that you might want to check out, and might as well redeem it in your library because it's free right now, so might as well just do that, you know what I'm saying? But Destruction All-Stars is a vehicular combat game that has person combat elements taking place in an arena environment. So think kinda like Twisted Metal meets Rocket League and all that. Like, it kind of seems like that's what we're going for here. But of course, the arenas do take place in a variety of real cities in the world, like Las Vegas, Tokyo, London, New York as well. So pretty cool to see that it's, I guess, supposed to take place in a modern type of, Earth and stuff like that. But there are 16 different characters at launch, each with unique abilities and a unique vehicle ability as well. Destruction All-Stars is first and foremost a multiplayer online game, but there is news about a single player mode, as we will get into that later on in the video. But they did confirm that new modes, characters, and playlists are going to be added to the game, which is really telling that Lucid Games, the developer of this game, is going to be further supporting this game for the long haul. So really cool to see that there. First up, of course, let's go over the vehicle types in Destruction All-Stars. In the game, you'll have access to 3 different vehicle types. The first type is a car that's about speed, getting around the arena as fast as possible while drifting like a champ as well. It seems to be a standard run-of-the-mill vehicle in the game, kind of like a 4-door sedan. It kind of seems like the default car in the overall game. But you also have a second option, which is a hatchback type of car. It's a small and nimble one. It's responsive, agile, allowing you to have a lot of control in a given game, and its size could mean that they're easier to destroy as well, given its smaller stature, as opposed to the other third type, which is a heavy hitter. This one's the big boy, okay? This one's hella thick. You know what I'm saying? It's a massive SUV that can take a lot more damage than the others, but its trade-off is that they aren't as fast or as agile as the other cars as well. So there's a really clear type of class-based system with the different cars that they have going on in the game. I would like to see in the future, like, maybe they add like motorcycles, you know what I'm saying? Like, something like that that they could add to the overall car types as well. The cars are designed to be disposable, making sure that you're able to jump out of any car and jump into any of the cars on the arena at any point in time, and it's really quick as well. It's got a really fast animation. It looks super fluid, and hopefully it feels fluid as well to keep that pace at a high point throughout the match. In the bottom left corner though, you'll see your vehicle ability and your hero ability that charges up by evading, destroying enemies, and getting pickups as well throughout the arena. And speaking of abilities, let's go over both the hero abilities and the vehicle abilities. We didn't get a full list, obviously, because why would you want to spoil all those things during a state of play, but we did get the abilities of 2 different characters that we will talk about right now. So these 2 characters are Lupita and Shift, and these were given a little deep dive in the state of play gameplay, what was said was that Lupita has a very offensive driving type of style, so her vehicle ability leaves a trail of fire that creates damage on contact with opponents. However, her hero ability is the same exact thing, where you leave a trail of fire on foot as well. But let's go over the Shift, because this is where I'm going to lead to a similar point here, where Shift is a defensive driver, so his vehicle ability allows him to go into stealth mode and camouflage in real time. So kind of like, you know, you just essentially go invisible. I'm sure you're not 100% invisible, like I'm sure players can see the outline of your invisibility, but I digress. His hero ability though allows him to do literally the exact same thing, so you can go camouflage in, you know, your regular standing person as well. So this seemed very weird to me. I don't know if you'll be able to mix and match different abilities from different classes. I think that might be really cool. I'm not sure why, like, you know, the vehicle abilities are the exact same as the hero abilities when you have the same class. I would love to see like a little mix match of where, you know, I leave a trail of fire on my car ability, but I can do like a trail of gasoline or something like that for my hero ability. That way I can kind of, you know, use my hero ability to heighten and enhance my vehicle ability as well, and use those two in tandem. I think that'd be super cool for the game. It looks like they literally might just be the same whether you're on a hero or on its car counterpart. Seems kind of weird to me. Maybe they'll clarify it more in the game. We'll have to see when it drops. In hero mode, you'll be able to move faster and double jump as well when you're on foot, and I'm pretty sure hero mode is when you have your hero ability enabled, but that wasn't entirely clear. Even though, you know, there is a draining bar on the hero ability HUD tag type box thing when they showed off hero mode, so maybe it is just enabled when you're in hero mode when you have a hero ability enabled, but that wasn't completely clear, just to be sure. And there is also going to be a lot of movement in the game as well, involving players being able to wall run, vault jump to offer an extra boost to the jump off of a wall as well to evade the oncoming attack, and even dodge vehicle attacks as well. And there's a lot more that they say that they didn't cover here in State of Play. So the amount of movement that it's looking like this game will have is looking really good as far as I can tell, and I feel that as long as it feels good on the sticks to actually pull off these moves, I think it might be really cool to have a really cool dynamic of a game that has really cool vehicular combat as well as really cool mobility when you're on foot as well. I think that if they can nail these two things, I think that we can have a really cool feeling game on the 6 as well. But if you manage to dodge a vehicle attack and land on top of the car, you can initiate a takeover or wreck over. When prompted, you can press triangle when you're near a top of a car to be able to do either a takeover or a wreck over. Once initiated, you can wreck by pressing square or take the car by pressing circle. So although these are things that definitely give you the advantage when a person is in a car, you have to react quicker to them, as the driver can have some sort of means to be able to not have these two things happen. Not sure if it's like a meaning of, you know, the person in the car can like steer left and right really aggressively to get you off the car. I think maybe that might be the case, but there is some way that they can counteract your initiation of doing a wreck or a takeover as well. Destruction All-Stars is of course a online multiplayer game, so let's talk about the multiplayer modes that you will be able to play in Destruction All-Stars. The first one here that was primarily showcased, and the main game I feel like that they are kind of having, like this game's like TDM essentially. It is Mayhem, free-for-all mode, where the goal is to survive and score points, and they call these points gears from what I gathered from the gameplay, and you get gears of course by taking down enemies as well in Mayhem. So pretty straightforward right there. And let's go into Carnado as well. So Carnado is a 8v8 team mode where players earn gears by wrecking others, but they have to check those gears back into a bank at a central point that is a tornado, but they call it a Carnado. Yeah, okay, like a tornado, and we're in a vehicular combat game, Carnado. Okay, let me stop. But every time you drive into the Carnado to deposit the gears that you've gotten throughout the game, your vehicle is destroyed. But if you wait too long to bank your gears, you can lose them all in a wreck by another player. So the goal is to really kind of, you know, weigh out your risk and reward. Do you want to keep getting gears, or do you want to just deposit and play the long game? That is a really cool concept as well for the game. I think that's super neat. But the next one here is Stockpile. Stockpile is a smaller team-based mode where players collect gears. Stockpile features 3 banks rather than 1, and the objective is to control as many banks as possible before the game is up. It seemed a little bit like domination to me in like Call of Duty's past. The catch is that upon hitting an enemy, their gears fall, leaving them for you to take for yourself, and it works the opposite way as well. So instead of the points just going away like in Carnado when you wreck, every time you get hit in Stockpile, your, you know, gears fall to the floor. So other, you know, enemies can just take those gears and deposit it for themselves. It's a little bit of a similar thing to Carnado, but I feel like it definitely diversifies itself to make it stand out differently. And the last mode detailed here on State of Play, not sure if there's going to be more modes, but this is the last one that they went over. It was called Gridfall. It's essentially Battle Royale. The last player in the game wins the match, but the floor will fall as well, creating problems for players in a given match. Eliminate opponents by knocking them into the openings on the map that are created or wrecking them as well. You do have a limited number of lives though in this mode, but there are ways to get more as you play, but they didn't detail how exactly you'll be able to do that whole thing to get more lives. And so this is like a little, you know, small scale battle royale, pretty cool aspect right here as well. And of course the gameplay here on screen looks flashy, looks colorful, looks vibrant, and that also transcends to the customization in the game as well. So you can unlock skins, emotes, vehicle emotes, and shouts as well by using 2 different currencies in the game. They are All-Star coins and destruction points. All-Star coins are earned as you play online and earn XP, however destruction points are purchasable on PlayStation Store, but later in the year you'll be able to earn them in-game via weekly or daily challenges. I love this aspect. This is something that I wish that they did in the COD space with like wager matches and stuff. I think that they should have been doing this in the first place. I think it's super cool. Why not, you know, put them up to, you know, be able to compete with your friends and have a little bit of a wager there. So I really like that aspect, but that'll be coming later on in the year. They also emphasize that all of the items you get from All-Star coins or destruction points in the shop are purely cosmetic. Don't worry about no pay to win or anything like that. They are only cosmetic things exclusively. Now here's where things get a little bit interesting with Destruction All-Stars. So of course, first and foremost, primarily this is a online multiplayer game. However, they do have a single player mode called Challenge Series, and so on the State of Play and on the gameplay here, it says that it's coming soon. I'm not sure if this is planned for post-launch or we will have access to this on day one. It seems like it's going to be for post-launch, but it is a series that can only be bought in-game using destruction points. And so this is a big thing here because you know, Challenge Series will focus on a particular hero and their rival. It will also contain story and lore points to flesh out the characters in the game as well. So ultimately, I would be a little bit mad if this game was still $70 and it had this component where the story and lore was locked behind a paywall essentially. But hey, you know, ultimately this is essentially a free-to-play game for the first 2 months. It's on PS Plus, so I'm gonna let this part slide, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is, but that did you know, was a little bit of an interesting thing to hear about this game. But nonetheless, you'll fight your rival with the standard mode stated before, like Carnado and Mayhem, but also there are some unique single player modes as well for this challenge series. They only set their names, which are Crash Course, Break Time, Skirmish, and Transporter, but these all seem to be small scale challenge mini games that are only for challenge series. So these don't seem to be really big fleshed out game modes, just little mini games that you play throughout the challenge series. But the challenge series always builds to a 1v1 with your rival that even has some cool cutscenes to accompany it as well. well. There's even like some VO work in here as well. It looks really cool. This is something that I really might get into and play on day one if they allow me to, but once again, you know, it said coming soon. Not sure if it's going to be available for launch. That was pretty much the bulk of the info that we got from State of Play, but there are a few things I wanted to make you guys aware of that I found in the game. So there are indicators on top of your character while on foot that let the player know if a car out of view is heading towards them, with a yellow spidey sense type of icon first, and then followed by a red exclamation point to tell you to evade from an incoming attack. So pretty cool right there that you know, like they're like really thinking about the experience of being on foot and how you can make it fair to someone that is trying to attack you in a vehicle. But also in the bottom right hand corner where we see our hero and character ability, we see some different things depending on if you're in a car or on foot. If you're in a car, you get boost meters for a forward boost and seemingly a left and right boost as well. So this could be useful for just getting a little momentum to hit someone and get them to wreck, or you know, maybe do a tighter drift with using the left or right boost. That's what I think is going on there. But you also get a health bar to tell you the state of your car that you're currently in. And on foot, you get a similar aspect but no health bar, but you do get a punch meter that I imagine is some sort of like one-hit kill or something like that, or maybe a punch that deals damage to cars. Not really sure what that is all about necessarily because we didn't see it in action in the gameplay, but it's a cool thing to note there as well. There are also some of the abilities on different vehicles that seem to also have the ability to add weaponry to the cars, like metal plows and knives for the exterior of your car. So it's some really cool stuff here, some really creative aspects that they are adding to the abilities for the vehicles. And one thing that I want to note as well that was pretty weird was that even when you're on foot, it looks like you can enable your vehicle ability. So maybe the car drives by itself and you can do damage to other players via your car driving autonomously, and I thought that was kind of weird. But also it's vice versa as well. When you're in the car, you can enable your hero ability as well. So not sure what this whole thing has to say. Maybe it's, you know, just telling you that hey, you can use it and you won't be able to use it until you're in your car, or on foot, vice versa. We will probably get the full explanation when we get hands-on on the game on February 2nd. But the last thing I want to say here is that there's also a character details toggle on the character select screen. By clicking square, that could likely just detail the abilities, or they could give a little bio to the character as well. I would like to see that, like maybe add a bio to kind of entice you to, you know, go into the challenge series and play that whole thing and get more lore and story from those characters. But pretty cool to see that they have a character detail screen there as well. And oof, that has been all of the details that we got from Destruction All-Stars via the State of Play that was last week. But once again, guys, let me know what you guys think about this game. Are you looking for it? Are you gonna play it? Do you have a particular question that you want me to answer in my coverage next week? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, because I'm definitely gonna be playing this game. They're gonna give it its fair shot, even though I'm not that super confident about the game in terms of like if I'll like it or not. But we will see how it all goes on Tuesday when it is available for PS Plus for you to download. But until then, you can follow us on our links below in the description to our Discord, Twitter, and our Anchor link. That way you can listen to our long form content and podcast format. Those of course being the Road 2 series and Save Slot podcast going up on Sundays. Hope you guys go out and listen to those podcasts, much appreciated. And before you go, make sure to also like the video if you enjoyed it, as well as hit subscribe to the PlayStation Source to keep up with the latest and greatest in PlayStation. Thank you all for watching, and as always, greatness awaits.